Hype base? No. Industrial pop. We'll go with this one. Really? Really? Alright. Works for me. Janks. Fort Whimsy. Hey there, everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to a draw stream day. I'm here with my good friend, Niv.
Bench.
So, on today's agenda for the arting, I've got GM Squad Unite, the finalization of page 22. Next week will be 23, but until then, the group is getting all excited for the new house that they're about to all collaborate in.
Yes, it would. You know what else I would be excited about?
What?
Being able to see what you're doing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something completely different. Alright, here you go.
Hooray! I have me some visuals.
Yes, you do. Also, about earlier today, I ended up doing a live stream of Cyberpunk 2077, and that went over as well as, well...
Last time?
Yeah, it crashed on me. There was nothing wrong with this one in terms of visual and content-oriented stuff.
Were you talking about boobs at the time?
No, not at all. In fact, the Jeremy the Preacher was on screen when it happened.
I can't believe that it closed first because of boobs and second because of a dick.
What? He wasn't naked. It was because of religion.
No, it's because he's a jerk. He's a dick. Don't you get it? Don't you understand? It's a conspiracy.
Yes, I get it. I get it. Okay, yes, that is true. Okay, fine. It is a conspiracy. And I believe his middle name could have been Richard.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone with the middle name Richard.
I have.
Well,
No,
I
wait,
suppose
no,
they'd
it wasn't.
really like some dick in the middle then.
Yeah, no, the person I was thinking of, that wasn't their middle name. They always went by their middle name, which was not their first name, which was Richard.
I see.
So I always get it confused thinking that it's their first name. And when I learned that that was actually their middle name, I was like, say what?
I had a person like that when I was in school. I don't remember what the names were, but I just remember that it was a situation like that. And I thought to myself, man, the Fae are gonna fuck him up.
Wow, the Fae, really?
Yeah, like, don't you know that's the entire reason for middle names?
No. What are
See,
you
the thing
speaking?
is, in a lot of mythology and mythos and stories and things like that, your true name has a lot of power. And so if another creature knows your true name, they have that power over you. It's the reason why Vasiv always refer to themselves in third person and yada yada yada. But
And that's why people
basically,
always refer to themselves by their surname, not their... Okay,
yeah,
continue.
basically the idea was that you have a third hidden name that you don't tell people. So that way, if you encountered a Fae who was masquerading as a human or something, and they're like, "Hi, my name is such and such. What's your name?" And you're like, "Oh, my name is Jon Snow." And they're like, "Haha, I know your true name. Now you must obey me." And you're like, "No, because I have a hidden name, so you don't have that power over me. You fool. You absolute buffoon. Now I know you're a Fae and I can tell the town."
Nice. Jon Snow.
First
That
thing
man-
that came to mind, I think I was gonna go with like John Doe, but then my brain went, no, we're saying Snow.
That's fair, that's fair. I mean, Jon Snow, the man that warned the people of the Fae. Quite the amazing tale. Defeat the hero, Jon Snow.
Yeah, didn't you hear about the whole thing with him and the White Walkers?
The who's a what now?
I don't know, I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Neither have I.
And apparently that was a very good decision.
Yeah, so we didn't get disappointed by the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike some other shows that I actually watched, that I wasn't disappointed by the ending, mind you. I was disappointed by the season.
Isn't that technically being disappointed by the ending? Because the ending is in that season?
Yes, and it's being disappointed by all the other stuff that came before it.
Fair enough.
Now, granted, there was some good things in it that concepts and such that I did like. However, I feel like it executed a lot of the things very poorly and could have been way better if it just catered to the fans. And honestly, that's the biggest issue with a lot of these comic book series these days. They don't cater to fans. They cater to the popularity, the trending terms of Twitter. You know?
Kinda. I feel less like it's Twitter and more like they're trying to make it a movie that anyone can watch with how popular they've become. Basically trying to make it accessible to everyone and forgetting their roots in the process.
Well, okay. I don't know how to put it. I feel like if they just naturally had a lot of what has been colloquialized as wokeisms.
As what-isms?
Wokeisms, essentially.
Oh.
Yeah. So if they kind of naturally had that in their stuff instead of feeling like it's being jammed in there to just kind of have it there to say, hey, all you people out there, this is a thing. I feel like it would have gone over a lot better.
I mean, that much is true, but there's always going to be people who complain about things, no matter which direction you go in.
Yes.
There's going to be people who are like, how
But-
dare you not put in this gay ship that the entire fan base has wanted, and instead have this character who's clearly there just to be the straight bait character. Or like, how dare you have this ship? This is a good Christian movie theater. How dare you show something that's not straight, you absolute madman? Or like,
Well, I feel like it's more... There's a lot of establishment that's been put into these comic books. And their stories. For like... Fantastic Four is a great example of this with 20th Century Fox when it was still around. To be more inclusive... Well, no, maybe not that one. That's not a good example. I guess the best example...
that was a bad movie either way.
It was a bad movie either way, yeah. But that's because of boringness. They really did nothing with it. And all the interesting stuff that could have come from it, they glossed over with... And a year passed. That was Fan Four Stick's whole thing. Honestly, the 2000s Fantastic Four movie was probably one of the best Fantastic Four movies.
I loved that movie, but like, I'm
Yeah.
a massive fan of just characters with superpowers, but it's their ordinary lifestyle, and sometimes bad things happen.
Yeah,
So-
same. And that's essentially what they are. The Fantastic Four is basically 4 family members, so to speak. Yes, you can argue that Ben Grimm is family with Reed Richards from a friend perspective, because they're just
Like
that
how
close.
we're family.
Exactly. The GM Squad family. Maybe I should change this from the Darren Yanni server to the GM Squad server.
I feel like the GM Squad server would just be the four GM people in a server together.
Yes. Though when you think about it. I mean,
It's
think
like,
about it.
this server has enough of an identity that it's not just GM Squad stuff, even if we do a lot of the GM Squad stuff in the server. You know?
Yeah, I see your point.
Like, if you were just making the server, then sure, you could name it the GM Squad server, like how there's an entire server for the Star Wars stuff. But because it
Yeah.
already exists, and it's got the other stuff involved in it, you know, it's not just GM Squad.
True. And what was I saying again?
Movie thing?
Ah, right. So a better example is probably something like the Birds of Prey movie that came out this year, in fact. And how it feels like they changed a lot of what the characters were what the characters were to push a message, no matter how good the message is. It didn't feel... They basically said to the fans that liked the Birds of Prey comic book series, hey, screw you. We're
I
going
never
like this.
actually saw that movie. What was the
I never really saw
what
it
was
either.
the controversy over it, aside from being bad?
So the controversy about the Birds of Prey movie was essentially that the biggest one is probably like within the advertising specifically. And that was, hey, all you people that are males that like this series, here's the middle finger. This is not for you. Even though the big majority of the fan base would arguably would be essentially that male base that they flipped the bird to. It's just like, oh, okay, you don't want us to show up in the theaters. Gotcha. And so the movie flopped pretty hard because they excluded people in their advertising.
I feel like that also stems from a just Hollywood problem in general, though, where Hollywood has no idea how to write strong female figures. Their only ways of doing so are either this character is basically written as if they were a boy and we gender swapped them, strong, sexy woman, and yeah, girl power, but fuck men in the process.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying in terms of they completely throw out the fan base when creating a lot of these things. If they would have gone with another comic book series, or hell, made the movie its own standing thing with original characters, it probably would have been much more well received. Very much like Batman versus Superman. If it wasn't Batman, Superman, Lex Luthor, and Wonder Woman in there, which, granted, Wonder Woman was the best part of the whole movie, it probably would have been much better received because these are new characters we know nothing about. We have no lore about.
But then you have to spend X amount of movies establishing who these characters are and
yes, and granted,
what their lore and shit is and all that stuff. If you use these pre-established characters, then you can just skip over all of that.
Yes. However, what you also need to do with that is, since it's literally like the first step of these movies to try and create the first Justice League, movie-wise, non-animated, you need to establish from the main canon instead of like in Elseworlds way. And from what I heard on interviews and such from Snyder, this was supposed to be kind of more of an Elseworlds telling. That's why Batman and Superman and Lex Luthor didn't act like the way everyone expected them to act. And in that perspective, it makes a lot more sense as to why the movie was the way it was.
I think one of the biggest problems with DC's movie stuff is that they're trying to compete with Marvel's movie stuff, which, yes, that's kind of competition, that's how that goes, but because they're starting later than Marvel, they're trying to be like, okay, the Marvel had the Avengers and all that stuff. We need to set up our own Avengers and we need to do it fast. And they need to slow down.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest problem that they are facing. They're trying to get too much done too quickly. And it's just like, you gotta play the long game, Warner Brothers. If you want a good series, kind of like what you did with the Wonder Woman movie, and the Aquaman movie, and the Shazam movie. Those did very well, and those could be good setups to a future Justice League movie or crossover movie that could have a much better payoff, because we got these establishments already now. But you are too greedy. Too quickly. And it showed. And the passion behind the work disappeared.
Now, did you say gritty or greedy?
Greedy.
Okay, I thought you said gritty, which, yes, but also.
Well, when you look at the movies like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, They have some grit to them. However,
Oh
they
no,
have a
yeah,
lot of lightheartedness
I know
to
that, but
it. And it's like they're
the
learning
other
their
movies,
lessons. Yeah,
the other movies were like,
Batman
darkness
is fine.
is the cool thing.
Batman is fine for that. I don't mind dark, broody, moody kind of thing with the Batman series. And if you want to throw in Robin to make that lightheartedness, cool. Do it. Because Batman's not much of a jokester kind of character. He's a very serious, hard-boiled detective type that tries to strike fear into criminals with his symbol of a bat, which, granted, in today's mindset, bats aren't so scary, but they were pretty terrifying back when Batman was first created.
Yeah, but Batman also has his moments of silly, which I feel like people really shouldn't forget.
Yeah,
But at the same
it's
time,
mostly
I
with
get
Bruce
that
Wayne.
like a lot of Batman is kind of shenanigan-y, serious.
Yeah.
But we also can't forget that there's kindness underneath, and all that he does for other people, and and how he tries to help people, and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I digress. We're getting off topic.
It's a good topic to be on. I'd rather be
Yeah.
on this topic than others.
Batman can be gritty and dark because kind of his setting allows for it.
Mm-hmm.
But Superman, no. Absolutely the fluff knot, no.
Superman, yeah, to me, Superman is fine to be dark and gritty if you give the proper setup for it. Just having
No.
him be dark and moody.
Superman is a symbol of hope and justice and purity, and you can
Yes.
slap him in that grimdark setting, but have him still be pure and bring light to others and set a good example. Don't have him fall into the setting is dark, so I must be too trap.
Well, okay, yes. However, what I was more getting at was the setup for Superman to have his brooding moment or his gloomy moment is a good thing from time to time because it's testing his character and will allow him to grow later. But just having him off the bat, like what you're saying here, no matter the setting, just having him off the bat be gloomy and moody, that's not good. Because that's not
You have
Superman.
to earn the angst.
Yes. For Superman specifically. Actually, for most of the DC characters, that's not Batman.
Yeah, pretty much all of DC's superheroes have, like, a sort of sunniness to them.
Yeah.
And a sort of just general system of hope. At least the ones in the mainstream. Hell, the Green Lanterns are literally all about hope.
They're about willpower. Though the Blue Lanterns are about hope.
Okay, fair enough, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Staying
Yeah, that-
strong in the face of adversity.
Pretty much, yeah. Just, yeah, there seems to be a lack of that, and there's a lot that people can learn in today's environment from superheroes. Honestly, I feel like we need superheroes again because people are just so in their dark place, especially with this virus that's going around. They
We need
that
people to
hope.
set a good example.
Yeah.
Lead by example.
Yeah. And before, that was what religion was. But a lot of people are going away from that. So what's to fill that void to add those morals to people's lives? Superheroes are doing a pretty damn good job, in my opinion. Though that's kind of equating superheroes to being a religion.
Hey, Nace. Hey, Nace.
Yeah.
Superheroes are the new Greek gods. Change my mind.
You're not wrong. No, seriously, you're not wrong. Well, okay, DC, you're not wrong. Marvel, not so much.
I
Because
mean,
Marvel is about the everyman, so to speak, that ends up in these terrible predicaments. And hell, they started off as scary stories.
gestures vaguely to Thor, but all seriousness,
Gestures
like,
vaguely to the Thing.
but all seriousness, there are also a lot of Greek stories that start with normal person who suddenly gets power. Or other, hell, a lot of mythological stories are just normal person gets power, goes on adventure, does good thing with it.
Right, and the stories are there to add caution, add morals to your life. Like, if you kill someone, there's going to be a consequence of some kind. If you rob from someone, if you steal from them, there's going to be a consequence. And granted, in Greek mythos, most of that was, you're gonna die.
Or you're going to have some form of ironic punishment.
Yes, that leads to your death.
Not always. Sometimes people were
Really?
just, like, turned into animals or some shit.
And then they were led to the slaughter, were they not?
Not all the time.
Huh.
I mean, there were a lot of things that down the line sometimes did that, but other times, nah.
Fair
Hell,
enough.
Medusa lasted like 5 ever. Even though a lot of stories did result in her death, she just kind of kept coming back somehow.
That's
Which,
why D&D...
superheroes.
Yeah.
And supervillains.
Honestly, I feel like that's probably because of certain... that the mythos in different countries or whatever.
Yeah, but there were also a lot of people just going like, I like this character from this story, I'm gonna do my own take on it.
True that.
Or, this character matches this agenda that I'm trying to push, I'm going to do a story that, you know, goes along with that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. True. I'm probably not going to be even showing the face, so I don't know why I detailed it so, but yeah, whatever.
Because you gotta.
Yeah, just gotta. Should I have my black eye just magically reappear here?
Was it gone before?
Yeah, okay, can't tell there. You should be able to tell there. And there. Yeah, those are the... Oh, and here you should have had... It should have been there.
Well, I
So,
mean, you can
yeah, it
fix that
disappeared.
now, so...
That's true. The comics haven't actually uploaded yet.
Yeah, so if you want to have the black eye there, you can fix it, or you can just have it have disappeared during the presumably amount of time that passed before Nace started asking, are we there yet?
True. I like continuity, though. I like continuity too much to not do this, though.
Understandable.
Come on.
Just trying to... What the hell would this look like from the side? Hey, Stelly.
What's going on?
Just trying to conceptualize someone squatting in a side view.
Squatting or squatting?
Squatting.
Oh. Okay.
I think I figured it out, so...
Yeah, I figured you might.
Sometimes I just need to try doing a sketch of it a few times.
Always works for me.
And also sometimes do the attempt to do the pose myself, even if I don't actually stand up to do it, but...
But you need the exercise, Niv. Everyone
how
needs
dare you.
exercise.
I mean, I do especially, but no,
Niv.
absolutely not.
Why not?
Because I don't want to.
Okay.
That's an off-topic question.
It's an off-topic question.
No off-topic questions.
I'm sorry, what? What do you
I'm
mean?
referencing a Vine.
That's fair, but what do you mean by off-topic question?
That's an off-topic question.
What the frick?
I'll link the Vine to you in the GM chat so you can look at it later.
Holy crud!
What?
Oops.
I looked away for 2.5 seconds and Nace fucked something up.
It's a good thing there's an undo button.
Copy link address. GM Squad Unite. There we go.
Oh, that's why I can't do it. Oh. That explains so much. Oh. That's not frustrating. Not at all. Dude.
You know what might be an interesting thing to do?
What?
Just like maybe not now, but like down the line sometime.
Uh-huh.
A Pokemon race with the GM Squad.
A Pokemon race?
We pick a game from the Pokemon series, and we all put it on stream, and we see who can get to the end fastest.
I like that
It
idea.
might take a few attempts, or not attempts.
A few sessions.
Yeah.
I personally like that idea. Now just get Gate and Cetron on board.
We could also make it interesting by doing like a randomizer or something, but maybe not.
No, not for who can get it done the fastest. Well, then again, randomizer would be interesting. Now, you mentioned having them all streamed. Tell me more.
Like, you know how we cross-sectioned off the canvas when we were doing the comic and stuff?
Yes.
So, like, the stream has 4 individual segments, or we just record it in advance and then put it all together.
And either
Where
will work.
one
yeah.
corner is your video, one corner is my video, one is Gate, and one is Cetron.
So, how would we go about this? Like with a using Discord and the screen share mode, and then streaming the screen share.
I mean, yes, possibly, or we could just all record at the same time and then each send our video
stream
together.
Oh, so just have it be a recording session and not a streaming session.
We'd have to figure out the logistics, but like, you know,
that's why I'm asking what your ultimate idea here is.
it would also, yeah, because like,
because that will completely determine everything.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure how we would how we would live stream it. If we did it, we'd have to like do that thing we did with the webcams, but not, I guess, not webcams.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we would have to do. You are 10,000% correct there, Niv. It started drawing on another layer by itself. The
How
monster.
dare you, sir? I mean, we wouldn't have to just be Pokemon either. It could be any game.
Yeah, it could be any single player game at that point if we're just going to do a race on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, let's be honest here, it's either going to be you or Cetrin that's going to win most of those. And if I win, that'll be like a major upset.
I mean, luck only would have a little to do with it at some point.
Luck has nothing to do with why I'm saying this. You're a very speedy gamer. I am not. Do you remember what was going on in our first Cyberpunk one? Where you're like, Nace, just go stealth. Just do it. I'm just like, hold on, I gotta explore a little bit here.
Well, if you explicitly knew it was a race, I feel like you'd speed up even if just a little bit.
I might, yeah, that's true. I'd be like, I need to get into competitive mode. Because I'm not much of a competitor, so to speak. Among Us has taught me that all too well.
I don't know how much of a competitor I am.
Uh-huh, yeah. I would say
No,
pretty much a competitor, because, you know, while you may not enjoy doing it, you definitely have the habits of being it. For example, building a Pokemon team, you ended up focusing at one point somehow you ended up focusing on stats and doing like tournament level teams for your stuff and breeding the Pokemon to be able to do so.
I think that was at the behest of others, but
It might have started as that, but then it kind of just kept evolving from that, so that you could, at the very minimum, keep up with your other friends that are playing that.
yeah, I feel like that's the main thing with me, is I go at everyone else's pace. So if things are getting into competition or heated, then yeah, I do that.
You do. Okay, that's fair. You go at everyone else's pace. That's not me.
Yeah, because you're slow.
A competitive Pokemon. And you could bring that up to Cetrin and Gate. And then we can figure out the logistics of that. Or we can yell
I
at
just
them.
thought of 2 other games we could do, but Cetrin would have to play them at least once first.
What games?
Hollow Knight or A Hat in Time.
We can do Hat in Time together, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, granted, we can do it together in a competitive setting. Who can complete the level first? And whoever wins, we end up changing realms anyway. Remember? And it actually gives scores as to who did the best in Hat in Time. So I think Hat in Time, Setron doesn't need to play first, but Hollow Knight I would kind of agree with you on. Actually, I'd recommend it.
Yeah. Hollow Knight is a challenging game.
Yeah. So I guess so what would the ultimate race be with Hollow Knight? What end goal? Is it just whoever can get to an ending the fastest? Or
I'd
to a
say-
specific ending?
I'd say the defeat the Radiance in the Temple of the Black Egg ending.
Okay, which ending is that?
That's the awaken the dreamers, get the black egg, the void shell thing, that the one where you go into the dream of the Hollow Knight.
Okay.
Like, you go into
Oh.
the temple to fight it normally, and then Hornet comes in like, get good! And then you smack it with the dream nail, and then you go and fight the big moth lady.
I don't think I've even done that one. That'd be quite the challenge indeed.
Yeah, because, I mean, we could also just do a defeat the Hollow Knight for the basic bitch ending as a test run for that, but
Yeah, I feel like that might be a good idea, considering how many episodes we'd end up doing.
yeah. The reason I initially suggested the Beat Radiance version was just to help make things last a bit longer, so...
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily need to make things last longer. Because as long as there's content, right?
Yeah.
And if we all enjoyed it, then we can go for lasting longer. Is the way I view it anyway.
Although I think that means I know what I'm going to suggest we do for my next stream day.
Oh boy.
Not the Hollow Knight, Hat in Time.
Oh boy. And then I gotta get to work on that drawing, but first, Spelunky.
That's only like 3 weeks from now, my dude. I was
Yeah.
just last week. We don't even know what gate you are gonna do.
I know.
Well, we know what
Gate's
you are
doing.
gonna do.
Yeah, I know what Gate's gonna do.
What's Gate gonna do?
He's gonna do a one-off session, and it's probably gonna be Christmas themed, especially considering the 23rd.
Yeah. Actually, I have no idea if we'll even be doing a session that day, given that we'll probably all be involved with family and shit.
On the 23rd? I mean, 24th, okay, I get. But 23rd?
Like, I know my brother's coming into town, so I'll probably be spending at least some time with him. So,
Well, then join us at night with your brother.
God.
You say that like I'm joking. I'm dead serious. Because for mine, the following week, I mean, I would like to have my brother involved with it. Because,
I mean, I'll see if he's, like, willing, but...
Yeah. That's all you could do. Because I'm trying to think of ways to make things... Convenience not the right word, but compatible with being able to be for multiple situations and scenarios, so that we don't have to go, I can't do it this time because this. Now, granted, there are times with that where school's in the way, or I have
Or
to go.
maybe the family wants to do a special dinner together that night or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. And you can't come to the computer. And it's like, okay, I understand. And we might need to do it Tuesday instead.
Who knows?
Who knows? We could actually bring that up anytime within the next week. Actually, better bring it up sooner rather than later. Next. Coming that night, so what if it earlier, like on Tuesday? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is a lot faster than last week's drawing. It's kind of insane at how fast this one's going. I just got this panel that I gotta draw. So, Niv, I threw a proposal out to Gate. Asking if I paid him to do so, would he be willing to edit my videos? And basically learn how to do editing and such?
Your brother or my brother?
Gate.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that I threw that proposal out to him.
And what did he say?
He hasn't really given me a response. But like I said, I would be giving him compensation for it, obviously. The most he's actually said is that he doesn't think he's qualified. And I'm like, you know, that's fine. And you don't have to accept. That's your prerogative. The best part is, I'm set for the next 3 weeks with the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. There's still 2 more Yu-Gi-Oh videos from our second live streaming session. I am so far fucking behind. I'm probably just gonna do very little, like almost no editing after these Yu-Gi-Oh ones, where it's just like, here's 10-minute clips of each of them, or here's little compilations of the worlds we were doing together, or something, with like almost no editing whatsoever. You'll get a thumbnail, and it'll just be us kind of chatting and talking or whatever. Any pauses that are there, they're gonna be there, because I really need to start cranking those out and not feeling like I'm falling in a abyss that's just getting deeper and deeper. It's very frustrating, you know?
Here's a silly idea. What if one of your stream days was an I'm editing videos day?
Well, that's just it. My stream days are GM Squad and this. The other stuff I'm kind of just throwing out there just to have something appear on my channel. But yeah.
Well,
no,
that's what...
Yeah,
I mean-
you're right. Sorry. Continue.
I was gonna say, either the stream of editing videos is something that's appearing on your channel, or instead of doing a stream that day and like pressuring yourself into doing that, you're like, okay, let's do some video today.
Yeah, true. So, a statement was made on Unus Annus that I find very true. And it's basically, there are two types of time for creatives. Time number one is making the stuff. And you can bury yourself in creating things, and then people will enjoy the stuff that you make. Kind of like, and that's essentially what Markiplier does. Is he basically just buries himself in his work. Or you have people that are more focused on the relationships and friends and whatever, with their friends, their family, and people, basically. And so they start brushing off their work, which is more what Ethan had done in the past. And so Markiplier kind of isolated himself with his work, and Ethan kind of neglected his own work to stick with friends. And I feel like I'm more on the Ethan side of things in that respect, where I end up prioritizing being with you guys over getting things done.
That's why I'm always set to busy, because I'm always trying to work on things even if I'm online.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, then I'm taking a break, which is also an essential part of the process, because if you work yourself too hard, then you're gonna get sick, or you're not gonna be able to work, and you're gonna stress yourself out. You need to take a goddamn step back.
Yeah, that is so true. So,
because you're essentially working two jobs with your videos and your other job, and you need to sometimes act like it.
That's just it. Yeah.
Both in the sense of I need to create stuff for the job, and in the sense of my job is stressing me out right now. What can I do to fix that?
The weird part is my second job. My first job doesn't stress me out at all. I'm really enjoying being a graphic designer for making advertisements for local businesses and what have you. That I am fully enjoying to the max. I'm not getting bored. I'm actually getting all my stuff done. It is a blast. So that I do like. However, when I come home, I come into a mindset of what you were pointing out there, not second work, which is essentially my videos, but rather it's time to relax. And I shouldn't do that. But even then,
I should, so you don't get burnt out.
So I don't get burnt. Yeah.
But you need to also set aside time to work on your other job.
Yeah.
Maybe take an hour or two when you get home from work to just relax and stuff. And then, okay, it's time to work now. It's definitely a lot easier for me, especially right now since I can't go anywhere, but...
Well, you still do have school to attend, even if it is virtually. So
yeah, but I do work in school too, since it's, art stuff.
Yes, and honestly, your school, I don't even know if I can count your school as school, as much as it is more like your job slash. It's basically your job. That you have to pay to go to half the time.
It's lessons is more like.
Yeah. Well, at what point? At what point does lessons stop?
When I want them to, but I like going and spending time there, so.
I understand that. I understand that. Well, I guess more what I'm trying to get at is school. There is an end result for what you need to learn, and it does. I don't know. It feels like there might be a different terminology for you at this point, because you don't go there just to learn anymore. You are literally one of the masters in the school.
You still living?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Nice.
Can you hear me?
Are
Nip?
you alive? Yes?
Can you hear me?
Oh god, he's glitching.
Oh no. Hold on.
Stream has ended. Cricket noise.
All right. How about now? Am I still glitching?
Okay, I think it's my end that's fucking up.
Oh?
Okay, it looks like it's calmed down somewhat.
It's calming down? Because you sounded fine on my end.
Yeah, but I had a crazy ping for a bit there. What were you saying?
So at some point, in schools, you need to end up graduating, essentially. Right?
Yeah.
And from the sounds of it, you are kind of more one of the masters in the school. Because you do teach part-time there, do you not?
I haven't been because of the,
Virus, yeah.
But, yeah.
So
Help
you
out
can't-
sometimes, but...
So you can't teach virtually?
I could, but, like... The boss man has basically been like, yeah, I can handle it, it's fine. I have asked multiple times, and he's like, I'll let you know if there's anything you can do, and then he doesn't, so...
Okay. I mean, I can understand a little bit, because, small business.
Yeah. With the stay-at-home stuff, he doesn't really, need anyone covering for him, since anywhere that he would have gone, he can't go now, so...
Yeah, pretty much. And the Comic-Con is not a thing. So, really organizing for that kind of event is a lot easier when it's not there.
But yeah. I do the payment for the stuff because I'm using the space and I'm learning from him and doing the assignments and all that stuff, so...
Fair enough. That is fair. That is fair. I feel like if you were forced to, that would probably be one of your, I don't know. It would probably be one of your only things that you could cut out financially wise.
Yeah.
If you had to.
Pretty much.
Because everything else is food and rent, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay then. Meanwhile, I have rent, but I'm kind of still with my parents.
Yeah, my parents are mostly covering bills and things for me. There are some things that I pay, but...
Look at us, not financially sufficient.
You're probably closer than I am, given you have a real person job.
At this point, yeah. Now that I'm making a pretty decent amount. I would like to... Okay, how do I put this? I want to start my own art business, doing these kinds of things with you guys, because I know you guys love doing this too. And so I'm trying to think of ways that we could get this to benefit on all of our fronts somehow. But most of the ideas I come up with might not jive well with everyone, you know?
Yeah. Especially since not all of our friends do the art thing.
Right. Well, in that respect, I was actually thinking something along the lines of the content house, so to speak.
The thing we were talking about last week?
Yeah, the thing we were talking about last week, where we're basically a group of people that live stream and promote each other, but we don't necessarily try and upgrade ourselves with each other, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this way we can have organic growths of, oh hey, I found this person and I'm really enjoying their content, and they seem to always be hanging out with these other people. Let me check out their stuff and see if I actually like their stuff. So that's kind of the ideal of what I'm thinking we could do. And so it doesn't have to be limited to art. I mean, it could be literally anything. It's just content creation, and we're all creatives to some degree. People like Tim could end up doing video gaming, live streaming. He doesn't necessarily have to talk, like, especially being as antisocial as he is. Then again, I don't know about that, because he's pretty damn social when he's around.
Yeah, but like, he has that gauge of how much social can I do today that depletes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, when he's got the energy for it, yeah, he's social and can do the thing, but like, doesn't always have that energy.
True, true. God, I just realized that of our group, you're essentially our Markiplier.
That doesn't sound right.
Why not? You are essentially a workaholic and you dig yourself into your work. That's all you tend to focus on. And when you are hanging out with friends, you're only half there because you're still working. In that respect, you're basically the Markiplier. Where I'm like Ethan, and I'm trying to focus more on being with everyone rather than doing my work. Kind of stupid to think about it like that, honestly.
Yeah, like I'm not popular or anything, so
You don't have to be popular for it to be what I'm kind of saying. And honestly, Niv, you might not be as popular as Markiplier, but you are popular.
press X to doubt.
Alright, you need proof. That's understandable. So, proof number 1. How many servers are you in?
Let's see. $16? I don't know how many I'm active. Oh wait, no, 15, because one of them is just my notes server.
Fair enough. So you got 15, and of the ones that I know of, Middle Ground, the Smack Jeeves is over, the
Don't think I
Zesper.
talk in there that much.
I mean, when I pop in most of the time, and granted, I don't talk with quite a bit of those times, I'll see that you've made a comment somewhere along the line very recently when I looked over. So you do talk in there a lot. You do talk in there and participate and engage in the community from time to time. Middle Grounds, you're a freaking administrator there, and you know a lot of the people there, and a lot of the people that are there all, what was it? Excuse me. Okay, here. 74, 80, oh, 75, 80. Oh, that's, wait. That's only the online. What's the offline look like? 99. Oh, shit. Alright, so all 201 people that are there, a huge chunk of them know who you are and probably have followed your work to some degree or another, from Mute to Interplanetary Shadows to
Man, if they follow
Aware.
Interplanetary Shadows, they sure don't act like it, because I get no comments on that.
yeah. What's your analytics say, though?
I have not checked that lately.
Fair enough. But then there's Aware. You had a lot of commentary upon that. Marmy and Granado doesn't get a whole lot of stuff until you state something, and then you start getting more comments. But you see my point with that, and it's so you're so popular there to the point where they brought you into the Gamer Tavern server.
Because I was playing the games that they were.
Yes, but they didn't invite everyone that played those games to that server. Because didn't it start off like with Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
There was a ton of people in the Middle Grounds with middle.
Use your words, nice.
With Animal Crossing. With Middle Crossing. But yeah, there's plenty of
God,
people.
I should check on my goddamn island at some point.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. I honestly lost all interest in Animal Crossing, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the only interest I have in Animal Crossing is the occasional. I should check on my island, and then not doing that.
Yeah.
I forgot a toe!
You forgot a toe?
Yes, I forgot to draw a toe.
Oh, okay then. You know, I wonder, if I do start live streaming, like, actual live streaming, editing the GM Squad videos, would you guys be, like, watching it?
I mean, I watched the clip show things already, so...
Yes. Though I was more talking about, like, participating in chats or whatever inside of it. And seeing all the crazy shenanigans that I come up with. And inputting ideas that I might not be thinking up at the time.
Like, how so?
So, for example, there are points in time, like with the GM Squad video for the Yu-Gi-Oh! One, where you came up with an idea. I can't come up with a specific example, but you do remember giving suggestions for a specific idea. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I did it. Because I didn't even think of that idea that you gave. What was that idea?
Raise his eyebrow.
It's been a while, okay, and I've had my mind on so many other things. I think I have some level of ADHD.
I think everyone has some level of ADHD.
Fair. So, one thing I will say about myself that I am frustrated with, and it's not my lack of coordination in getting things done and time management skills. It's more I'm pretty sure you might have noticed this. I have said no a lot. So when someone says something, I go, no, no, as an initial, like, almost knee-jerk reaction, right?
A little.
Yeah, I really don't like that about myself. And
I think it's fine because you've drawn boundaries for yourself. Like, for improv, it's bad, but in general, day to day, you can be like, hey, I am saying I don't want to take part in this thing.
that is true, though that's not what I meant by when I say no. Yes, in improv, it's bad. However, I've noticed that I say no almost as a knee-jerk reaction to a lot of things that are being stated when I do view it as an incorrect statement, but I come off as very combative when doing so. And I also come off as very negative, almost feeling like it's dismissal of what someone else is saying, when I just automatically do that, you know? And if I use the words however or but, then that pretty much negates any positivity, if I've said any positivity, in the sentence prior. Like, for example, if I said, you do have a very good point, but... now it's just like, oh, so you don't actually have a good point. And I've wanted myself to fix that very nature of my being. It's like, I get saying no is good, but saying no too much just makes you negative. Just straight up, everything becomes a downer. And I used to be someone that always saw the silver lining in things.
The world changes you.
Yeah, well, especially if you're always listening to people from the media or Hollywood or hell, even just in your own friend circle, just constantly being negative. It does change you. It starts to make you want to resist it to the point where you start becoming negative and pessimistic towards a lot of these things, feeling like you have no control over anything. And it's frustrating. And it's not good, because then it can lead to you snapping at someone. And I don't think that'll be a good thing for anyone, right?
Yeah, snappy Niv is not fun.
Exactly. So...
although I do notice that, I don't know if it's just because I've been more apathetic lately, but I've had a more solid handle on my emotions than I used to.
welcome to my world, especially after we weren't together. If that means Yeah.
No, no, I get it.
Yeah. I definitely went down that road. And was called a robot for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. Lately, I say lately, but it's more like for the past a while. It feels like emotions have to pass a certain threshold for me to really, like, express them in any way.
Yeah? Yeah, I've kind of been
Which,
there too.
on one hand, just means that when I'm showing the emotions that you know, like, oh, she's actually really feeling this because she is openly expressing it. And on the other hand, it means that, like, there'll be, say, a sad thing on screen and it's just like, okay, move on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm that far apathetic too. When there's something sad, something cute, something that everyone's like going, "Oh, look at this." I'm just like, yeah, and it's cute. Okay, cool. Let's move on. It's not good. It's not good. Not for me. I used to be so silver lininged and jumping and talking at the same time, you know?
Jump
Thinking
and
that
talk
was
and
good.
jump at the same time.
Thinking that was a good thing to put. Ugh. Yeah, I've definitely found myself in very apathetic slash negative straits. And I want to, and I hate that. I really hate that about myself. And so I want to get away from it. Because it also is leading me to what's the point in actually doing these creations? What's the point in making my videos? What's the point in streaming? Well, part of the point, for me at least, is to have a motivation. I need this to have an outlet, have a motivation level of some kind. Create a culture, create something that I can be proud of. And if people find it stupid, then why? Then I might let it affect me. But I need to not do that. You know?
Yeah. There are two very simple reasons why I make things. First being, because I enjoy it. Even if I'm not always able to outwardly express that, I know it's something I like doing. Because if I didn't like it, then I wouldn't put so much time and effort into it.
Yeah.
The other is, constant desire for validation and the only thing that I'm good at.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like me to a T right there. Oh, shit.
Which is partly why it's so annoying that barely anyone comments on my stuff.
Yeah, I apologize about that. That's mostly my neglectful nature. I even neglect my own stuff. Just, and that's me trying to defend myself. There's no defending it. There's just...
No. I understand. Sometimes you don't have stuff to say.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So, I can always come up with something to say. I really can. Like, just even if it's one word. Nice. or well done, or look at that. Well,
It's
that
2
ain't that
words.
something.
That's not one word.
Yes, it's not one word, but my sentiment is basically that I can always have something
Fuck, I'm on the wrong layer.
to fuck that you're on the wrong layer. Oh, wait. I can always have something to say. There is no bout a doubt it.
The what?
It's just going to your website. That's what I don't do. I'm bad at doing. I was actually proud of myself today for going to the GM Squad .com, gmsquad.unite.com to update the page for this week. For page 11 that just released. You can check it out over at gmsquadunite.com. Subscribe, ring that bell, notification. Get annoyed by me. Wait. Don't get annoyed by me, please. Anyway. Man, we're doing some real talk here. We're getting some therapy session in this shit. And in a way, it's good. But so do you know what helped me after, the whole being emotionless robot thing?
I mean, I haven't been called a robot, so I think I'm good on that degree, but
That's true. But that apathetic time, which, granted, I still have a lot of apathy. Though, am I really apathetic? Yeah, no. I'm really apathetic, but I'm very empathetic, too. Because apathy is like the opposite of sympathy, not empathy, necessarily.
I mean, it can be both directions. It just depends what the apathy is towards.
Yeah, my apathy, I think, has been leaned more towards sympathy, because I have a lot of empathy. So if someone shows me, like, man, look, I just scraped up my knee, I'd be like, oh, my knee, it hurts. Just looking at it.
Yeah, my apathy is more towards myself.
Yourself?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
not caring about myself properly.
Yeah, that's quite a conundrum. And honestly, you should have some level of motivation to. You need a motivation to support yourself, to want to care about yourself. But what that motivation would be, what would get you to have that motivation? And the only
That's the thing. The only motivation I have is work on my shit.
That's not true. There's one other motivation that I've seen.
That
Stella.
Well, yeah, but if I don't take care of her, then who will?
My point exactly. That's a motivation. You are motivated to taking care of Stella.
Because I have to.
No, you don't have to. There's other options to involved with this, but you're choosing to. The option you have chosen was to take care of her. Sorry, I did the no thing again. But the situation is, you could have brought her back to an adoption agency, or let your parents try and take care of her, or something along those lines. But you chose not to do any of that. You chose, I'm going to take care of my girl. Or your girl.
No, you were speaking as if you were me, so I understood that. I don't
Right.
have the brain processing power of a 2-year-old. It's more like a 5-year-old, but
Ah, yes, the 5-year-old. But one thing that I have come to a conclusion about, and the reason why I've been kind of pushing it so hard, is I feel like the improv and getting everyone on board with doing improv to some degree will help try and increase the mood of positivity. So, like, if someone's doing a joke, instead of going, no, and then giving a reason why no, it's say yes, and then trying to give a reason to exemplify upon that. It's not necessarily part of it is to a reason to stop arguing, but the other part of it is to get you to get one into a better mindset that has.
how dare you, sir?
How dare I?
How dare you try and make me practice self-care via improvisation?
Well, you see, Niv, I care about you. I care about all my friends. And I like seeing my friends doing well for themselves. And as soon as I start hearing my friends not care about themselves to the point where they're saying, I can't, or it doesn't do that way, or so on and so forth, and just straight up being negative about anything, I want to fight them on it. And
Do
thus,
it. Get your ass over here and fight me, you coward.
I'd love to. When I save up enough money.
And when COVID isn't a thing.
I'm almost on a path of COVID be damned, but you know.
If you do,
Yes.
I will lock you the fuck out. Because you know that I am more at risk. That's why I haven't been allowed to go anywhere since March.
Yes, I do understand that. I do. And
That's why it's such a goddamn big deal that my brother is coming into town, that I might not be able to do a session on the 23rd, or whatever it is. Because it's the first family aside from, like, my parents and my grandma that I would be able to actually interact with.
human interaction.
There have been minor exceptions, but I've always had to be extremely careful with it.
That's fair. That is very fair. And I will admit, I am probably not the best person to see you, because while I have been getting more on a health kick as of late by drinking smoothies that have more nutrients and antioxidants and yada yada yadas in them, the work environment that I have been in, there has already been one COVID scare.
Like, it's the same logic I apply to my extended family. Look, I trust my uncle, and I trust my aunt, and I trust my other uncle and his partner. I don't trust the however many people that they've interacted with.
Exactly.
That's why I didn't go to Thanksgiving with the family. It's why Christmas is just immediate family only this year. Because my medicine makes me immunocompromised. I don't want to risk dying.
And that's understandable. Welcome to GM Squad Draws, as
Where we talk
the
about
real
death.
shit. I do get it, Niv. I mean, my grandfather has passed because of this disease. So, if
And
there's
it's
anyone that
just
understands...
so goddamn frustrating that no one in, or enough, not no one, but enough people just don't care. They're like, reopen everything, the economy. And people are still dying and still getting sick, and it feels like no one cares about that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do. There's... How do I put it? You know that stir craziness that you're feeling?
Cabin fever?
Yes. So, all these people that are on that level, because I do like to try and see things from other people's perspectives on these matters. And they are definitely coming from a point of, this is a precedent that has never been done before. Their entire life is now just completely topsy-turvy. And they are at a... Okay. They have been told, this will take 2 weeks. Keep your masks on, or 15 days, basically. Keep your masks on, and yada yada yada. Don't go to work, don't leave your homes, so on and so forth. Well, we're now 10 months, 9 months in, and the same things have basically been still applying, and there's no certainty as to when anything will be okay again. So people are that have this cabin fever are now freaking out because they don't know when their next paycheck will ever be. They don't know when their sense of self is going to be again. And
it's
so
not just that. It's also governments and corporations going, you have to self-isolate, but we're not going to pay you if you don't come to work, so come into work and continue spreading things around. Your entire job could be done from home, pretty much. But no, you still have to keep going in and interacting with people who have had COVID scares. I feel like, at some point, if we shut down the country for like a month, no one has to go to work, no one has to do interactions with other people. You get X amount of rations that you can work with for the month, or you can only get food delivered to you online or something. If the government decided, hey, let's just put things on hold for the sake of everyone in this goddamn country, then maybe the situation would be better.
yeah.
But no, there's profit to be made.
Yeah, there's that. There definitely is that.
Because right now, people have to go to work because there's no rent forgiveness. People, if my neighbors don't go to work, then they can't afford their rent, which means they get kicked out of their house, which means that they now don't have a place to stay, which means that they're going to go into work because they have to do that to survive.
Yeah.
Whether or not they make other people sick or get sick themselves, be damned.
Yeah, that is true.
I am hugely sympathetic toward all the people who are suffering, because I know I'm fucking sick of it all too. I just wish that the people in charge were as well, you know? Because it sure doesn't feel like they are.
Yeah. And honestly, the worst part about it all is the people in charge, it feels like they are using this to push some sort of motion for their own gains. And that's probably the most infuriating part about it all. It doesn't matter whose side it is.
A national pandemic should not be a partisan issue.
Exactly. Why
And
it
yet-
is, that's something because people are greedy. People are power hungry. They will find a way to keep their strength somehow. And we just started
Something
going
I've
into
never
politics.
really understood. Yeah.
Yeah. I on some level understand it because I like
I
having some
understand
sort of
wanting,
structure, some
I
sort of
understand
control. Oh, sorry.
wanting to be secure and wanting to make sure that you can survive through the day and wanting to be like, I do not need to worry where my next meal is coming from or if I'm going to have a roof over my head at night. I don't understand having all of that and then going, I want more. I want other people to not have these things.
Yeah. Night.
It's just such a goddamn alien concept to me. It's like asking
Yeah.
me to comprehend why people would want sex.
True. And all the reasons can be explained to you till they're blue in the face, right?
Yep, but
When it
I'm still
comes-
gonna go. But
Yeah.
that doesn't sound right. Why?
The-
why
the-
would you do the thing?
There's only one reason that is ever acceptable to me, and that's because you want to make a family. You want to make kids into this world, which is fine. But if I don't want to, then I don't
Like,
think.
I
that-
understand there are also people who would do it recreationally, or
Those ones I'm not as understanding of because I've never had that desire to do it recreationally.
Aw, Nace, are you a little ace?
No.
Like, I know you're not entirely, but it sounds an awful lot like you're demi.
Demi.
Demisexual, basically meaning, yeah, you don't really go like, I am going to do a sex with people. It's more like, I'm going to form an emotional attachment before I consider it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's about right. I prefer the emotional attachment first. I mean, I'd rather spend my time with someone that I know, I trust, and I guess the best word to use it in today's lingo is simp for.
I don't think that's quite the terminology you're looking for, especially since, from my understanding, it's a very negative term.
It's only viewed as negative because people don't. Because there are a lot of the people that use it are only frustrated when dealing with people that do it, basically, where they like someone to a level that they would do anything for them, and it's like, why would you just throw your entire life away to do anything for that individual,
Like,
even if they don't reciprocate it?
Look, you can love a person like that as long as they love you back and would also do the same for you because they can take
Yes.
care of you and stuff. But
Yeah,
if
and
they don't
that's where my...
reciprocate and you intend on forcing it onto them anyway, then at that point you're just being creepy.
Yes, and that's the type of good simping there is.
The creepy or the other version?
The first version, the one that you explained.
I felt like I had to clarify there because you said that after I elaborated on the bad kind, and it's like,
Fair enough. Yes, and I'd do it again too. If it wasn't for the
if it weren't for those meddling kids.
So one thing I need to work on, I guess, when it comes to improv skills, is coming up with just random topics. Because I feel like anytime I come up with random topic, it gets almost shot down immediately. And it's like, oh, okay. Alright, time to try and come up with something else. Have you noticed that at all?
Sorta. I mean, I feel like it also just depends on the general interest in the topic.
Well, okay. So if I say something like, playing Spelunky is like eating meatloaf. And then it's just like, no, it's not. It's like, oh, okay.
How so?
That would be a better response. Just play along with it. Or adding on to whatever I just said. It's like, oh yeah, it is like eating meatloaf with mashed potatoes,
I've
gravy,
never
and
eaten meatloaf, so
that it's just a slab of meat with some ketchup on top. It's understandable.
So you're saying that it's not very enjoyable?
I mean, I enjoy it, but I mean, it's not exactly kosher, healthy, and there's a lot of breading involved with it.
Kosher is an entirely different thing.
Wait, is this the... Yeah, this is the left eye. What is
Actually, what the
kosher, really?
Kosher is...
That?
Kosher food is any food or beverage that Jewish dietary laws allow a person to eat. It isn't a style of cooking. Keeping kosher is much more complex than that.
Okay, so it's basically if the Jewish religion would allow their people to eat it.
Yeah. I mean,
in its simplest form.
It's more complicated than that, but that's the fundamental.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. It's like I keep seeing my stream getting notifications or whatever, and it's like, oh no, it's just...
That's just your music bot.
There's my music bot. Done.
Done, done, done. Like done with the page, or...
Oh, I just kind of read this part. But, almost done with the
Looks
page.
like you're done with the colors.
Oh, yeah. So the textless thing can now be dialogued.
Assuming you don't include the done, then it's not... Because if you do, then it's not textless. How dare you? This is false advertising, sir.
Yes, that
going
is
to
true.
call my lawyer.
Oh, not your lawyer. I mean, I remember meeting your lawyer once. They were very sweet.
Yeah, he is a pretty nice guy, but like I don't recommend meeting him in court.
Yeah, he does tend to be like a pit bull in court. Adorable
Let's see.
but
Do
vicious.
I have his phone number in my contacts?
Wait,
Yes,
are
I
you actually
do.
serious? You got a lawyer?
It's my uncle. Of course I do.
Ah, fair enough, fair enough. You know what I haven't done that I probably should do at some point?
What?
Open up a script, but also create a thumbnail for Art Stream Day.
Probably.
And just being like, Art Stream today!
It's just you drawing and then like me on the phone also drawing.
Actually, yeah, no, that would work, since no one else really likes showing up, and when they do, they don't pay attention to the stream itself. I feel like I need to set a rule where, yes, it's supposed to be like us just hanging out, but if I'm streaming and you guys are coming in to watch the stream and comment alongside with me, focus on the stream, like, you know, if we're actually hanging out and playing this game and not like what we normally do when we hang out and play completely separate games from each other.
Yeah, that was why I didn't come in this afternoon, when you were playing Cyberpunk. Because I was doing my dailies in Genshin, and I knew that I would just be talking about that.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
I'm just like, oh, Nace and Gate are both playing Cyberpunk, and Nace is streaming? Sounds like they're gonna be cyberpunking. I'd better not jump in on that because I would be off topic.
Yeah. And it's like, I honestly don't mind if you are playing another game. So don't get me wrong here. I don't mind if you're playing another game associated or outside of that. But just kind of pay attention to what's going on and commenting on like, Nace, why are you being such an idiot? Or something like that.
Yeah. That, seems like it'd be hard to do if I'm doing something else.
It does. It's a level of multitasking that you haven't actually mastered yet. You need to go further beyond, Niv.
I know, right? I need to be able to talk to you and do things at the same time. It's
like
very
jump
difficult.
And talk at the same time.
I know, right? It's not like I'm currently drawing while also talking to you.
Exactly. See? You're getting it. You got it. So right.
I'll have to practice by drawing during voice calls more often.
Ah,
Maybe
yes.
even working on comics.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. Maybe you could live stream yourself doing that.
Now you're taking it a step too far.
But
Why would you ever suggest such a thing, Nace?
Because that's going further beyond.
How dare you, first of all. I've never been so offended in my life.
Ah, but have you been on-fended? Or on-ended? Yeah, on-ended.
On beginning.
On beginning. God damn it.
You fool. You absolute buffoon. I am the master of reversal. No, I'm really not.
You are the master of reversals.
Reversal words is the word that I was saying.
Reversal words, yes. You are the master of it. I will concede to this.
I'm really more the master of straight silences.
Oh. But what about gay silences?
Well, that depends on if you consider being ace to be like... I mean, it's not gay, but it's queer, and people tend to use that interchangeably a lot.
Well, that's because the word queer actually means weird, and when gay was first being introduced, it was considered weird. Thus, it was interchangeably done as queer versus weird.
Yeah, but queer is also more of a blanket term for,
Other.
I mean, that and the thing I am is complicated. I don't want to go into it, or I really don't feel like elaborating to you, so I'm just going to say queer.
Fair enough. Alright, so I need to indicate somehow that this text bubble is you yelling, "Yep!" Because the text isn't conveying it enough. Oh my god, what
You
kind
could
of
draw
weird
a
hiccup
scarf
thing
on
is
the
that?
speech bubble. By which I mean, like, I'm gonna do a very shitty doodle here, so bear with me.
Shitty bear doodle into town, riding on a doodle.
There you go.
And why would I use a bear, by the way, Nev?
Well, you gotta bear in mind.
Ah, you're right. I do gotta bear in mind. But I think I can panda.
Now you're just pandering.
Whatever you say, Red. Whatever you say.
I'm just trying to parse that I don't object to the nickname Red. Sorry.
Why apologize?
Because I was very quiet.
Ah, that's fair. That's fair. So you don't object being called Red?
No. I mean, it'll take a little getting used to, but I don't hate it.
That's good. At least it's better reaction than when I call you by your real name.
I don't know why it's weird for me to be called my real name. I don't mind it like IRL and stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's true. You kind of don't, but at the same time, you kind
Especially,
of
and
do.
I'm like using it for my goddamn comic, so it's not like it's a
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I guess it's just weird for me to hear you guys calling me by it when it's been so long that it's just been Niv or Shard.
That's true, too. I mean, it's weird when I hear you guys say my real name. Sean, by the way. It's Sean. For all those that are listening, my name is Sean. So you don't get confused. But it's also weird for you guys to say it as well, not just weird for it to be said, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I still use Nace in part just because I'm used to it. It's part of why I've been making an effort to go with Bun, or, like, you know, just using your real
A
name.
nickname. Yeah.
I think it's partially just because, you know, back in our heyday, we were always taught, keep your identities separate, and you can't do the things, and, you know?
Yeah, and on some degree, I still agree with that for children.
Oh, absolutely. It's
But
just, now that we're adults, and
it's
this
not
is...
as important, and if we want to risk our identities for it, that's on us.
Yeah. Right? And also, now that we're doing the things more professionally, the professional accepted standard is using your real name.
Yeah, well, I guess it does depend on which thing is being the professional, because there is such a thing in the profession of bookmaking as a pen name.
Yeah. But I don't think I could very well publish books as Shard.
Why not? As long as you create your business account associated with the author being called Shard, there's no reason why you couldn't in today's age. In all seriousness.
Well, I've already decided we're using my real name for IS. But
Oh,
I
we
do
are.
still have my avatar and stuff as Shard, so it doesn't matter too much.
I'm actually surprised that it's not Niv that you're more considering, but rather Shard.
Shrug.
You shrugged. You zigged in when you should have zagged. No, but in all seriousness.
How dare you call me out on my shrugging, sir? That is illegal.
Ah, I see. Yes. Yes, I have committed the felony of calling you out. I shall now lose my Twitter account.
Yes, you have been cancelled, sir.
No! Anything but being cancelled. God, that's the stupidest thing. That is the stupidest thing in today's age, is just these accounts being canceled because they stated their thought process, their opinion on a matter, regardless of if it's true, fact checked or whatever. They end up just being banned or suspended or something because, well, that's wrong. You can't say that. It's just, where's the freedom of speech anymore?
Well, the thing is, freedom of speech just means you can't be arrested for what you say. And the government can't be like,
you can't be
you're bad talking us, we're going to put you in jail.
The
freedom of speech does not protect you from the consequences.
Freedom of speech allows you to not be censored for what you have an opinion about. And unless the company that's doing the censoring is a publisher. I mean, the publishers are fine with doing the censoring because they're not protected under Section 203. However, other platforms that are protected are not publishers. So they shouldn't be doing any level of censoring.
It's effectively, like, let's say you post something on a forum and you get banned for it. That's the equivalent of someone saying, hey, you're being an asshole, here's the door.
Well, okay. With that, there are set... yes, there are set rules and such that are being put into place for a code of conduct. That's not necessarily a publisher level thing. I get that. But larger organizations like Facebook and Twitter, on the other hand, they've created these platforms initially so that you can communicate with your friends and such, and you can state your opinions on matters. But
cancel culture.
But as of lately, with the cancel culture thing, stating your opinion on a matter just leads to you losing that platform, and it's just like...
The thing is, cancel culture isn't in the hands of the corporation, like Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's the user base on that platform that's saying you're an asshole and basically pressuring them off. So Facebook and Twitter, short of being like, hey, I'm gonna fact check what you're saying because you're
But
spreading misinformation,
That's
can't stop the
problem.
cancel culture because it's the user base going, I think what you're saying is wrong and you need to get out of here.
But that's the problem. Those platforms are not allowed under section the section rules. They're not supposed to say with these fact checks or whatever. It's not their place to do so. That's more of a publisher's kind of situation. So they're putting themselves in a publisher role. You see?
At the same time, I feel like with so many people getting their news and stuff off of places like Twitter, it's a good idea for them to go, hey, let's make sure that misinformation that could potentially harm others isn't being spread around.
Yeah, but at the same time, the way they're going about it doesn't feel right.
They're not censoring anything that people are actually saying because the words and things are still there. They're just attaching a notice that says, hey, do your research, or hey, this conflicts with actual information, you know?
Before we get too far into this, because this is not what this stream is about, thank you all so much for joining us on this art stream where we have been doing a lot of
Philosophical debates here, really.
Oh yeah, majorly. So until next time, thank you for joining us, and
before we go, there will be no stream tomorrow for the wreckage of the old boats because as a group we've decided let's wait until the holidays are done before continuing.
So it might
there
be
will be
something else.
There will be no wreckage of the old boats until like
The new
probably
year.
mid-January sometime.
Exactly. So until then, until at the very least, until Wednesday, I'll see you then.
Take care.
Have fun.